Before we get into tonight's conversation, I want you to pause for a moment. Think about the person that you are closest to romantically and ask yourself this question: am I relating to who they are right now, or am I loving a version of them that I have stored in my memory from a long time ago? See, chemistry doesn't disappear because people stop caring. It fades when curiosity gets replaced with assumption. Tonight, we're talking about flirting and foreplay with intention. But deeper than that, we're talking about staying emotionally present with someone who is still becoming. All right, y'all, let's get into it. Welcome back to Corks, Cocktails, and Chemistry, the show where we pour something smooth, speak something real, and explore the kind of chemistry that doesn't just spark, it sustains. I'm your host, Jaffe, and tonight's episode is called Still Learning You. Because intimacy isn't about keeping someone interested. It's about staying interested. And before we go any further, let's pour. Because tonight's glass and ash is the lesson. Tonight I'm pouring an appletini made with tequila. And yes, tequila is intentional. See, most people misunderstand tequila. They rush it, they misuse it, they judge it based on one bad experience. But when tequila is handled with care, when it's slowed down, respected, and balanced, it becomes smooth, layered, and quietly powerful, just like desire over time. In this appletini, I have 2 ounces of Reposado tequila, 1 ounce of apple liqueur, or you can use fresh apple juice, about a half ounce of fresh lime juice, and about a half ounce of simple syrup. You just add everything to a shaker with ice. Shake it slowly, don't rush it. You know we don't rush things in this space. And you're going to strain it into a glass. And if you're feeling kind of flirty, you can use a chilled martini glass with a thin apple slice or lime twist for garnish. But if not, a regular old glass will do. This drink works because it's familiar, but it's not predictable. It's comforting, but it's intentional. Exactly how flirting should feel. You already know I'm pairing this with my medium-bodied cigar. And the medium-bodied cigar is smooth. It can be slightly sweet, but it doesn't overpower. And tonight isn't about intensity. It's about chemistry that lingers. Okay, now that we've poured, let's take a sip. And if you're smoking with me tonight, let's take a draw. Now let's talk. So, somewhere along the way, flirting got framed as optional. It got framed as something you do at the beginning, or something you do to impress, or just something you do when you want something. And once commitment shows up, flirting quietly exits. It gets replaced by routine, assumption, and efficiency. But flirting was never about attraction. It was about attention. Flirting is how you say, I see you, or I notice you. I'm attuned to you. I'm emotionally here with you. When flirting disappears, people don't stop loving each other. They stop feeling chosen. Many relationships don't lack commitment. They lack engagement. Flirting keeps energy moving. It keeps curiosity alive. It keeps desire from turning into obligation. Without flirting, intimacy becomes functional, predictable, or transactional, and chemistry does not survive on routine alone. Now let's go deeper, because foreplay has been misunderstood for far too long. Foreplay is not something you do with your hands. Foreplay is something that you create in the body's sense of safety. And safety doesn't mean boring. It doesn't mean passionless. It doesn't mean predictable. Safety means the body doesn't feel like it has to protect itself. Because desire is not a decision. Desire is a response. Desire is a response to something. And the body will not open to desire when it's busy scanning for threats. When someone's nervous system is tense, when they're guarded, overwhelmed, overstimulated, or emotionally bracing, their body is not available. It's not available for closeness, for pleasure, or for connection. It doesn't matter how skilled you think you are. It doesn't matter how much love exists. And it doesn't matter how much history you have. A body that feels rushed closes. A body that feels pressured, it resists. A body that feels unsafe disconnects. Sometimes quietly, sometimes completely. That's why intentional foreplay starts before touch. Say that with me. Intentional foreplay starts before touch. It starts with your energy. It's slowing your energy down emotionally, not just physically. Letting urgency leave your voice. Letting impatience soften. Letting your presence arrive fully in the room instead of it being halfway there while your mind is somewhere else. Because bodies are listening long before words are spoken. Intentional foreplay is regulating your presence. Your nervous system speaks before your intentions do, before your compliments, before your touch. If you're anxious, the body feels that. If you are distracted, the body feels that. If you are seeking reassurance through intimacy, the body feels that too. And when the body feels that, it doesn't lean in. It guards itself. It holds back. It stays alert. It waits to see what you are asking for, which is why intentional foreplay is also about permission, emotional permission, permission to relax, permission to move slowly, permission to say no without consequences, permission to change pace, permission to not perform. And that permission is deeply seductive, because nothing opens the body faster than knowing it won't be punished for honesty. When intimacy is safe from pressure, desire doesn't have to defend itself. Because true desire doesn't respond to urgency, it doesn't respond to expectation, and it doesn't respond to obligation. True desire responds to attunement, to being felt, to being met, to being invited instead of pursued. And when someone feels emotionally safe with you and they realize that there is no need to brace, the body follows. Not because it has to, but because it wants to. And that's the difference between intimacy that happens and intimacy that opens. Now, let's take a sip before we talk about flirting as continued study. Okay, so most of us flirt using old notes. You know, we go up into that mental notebook and we pull out the same old compliments and the same old jokes and that same old energy. Not because we don't care, but because it feels familiar, and familiar feels safe. We repeat what once worked, hoping it will still land the same way. But people are not static. They are shaped by seasons, by disappointments, by growth no one else can see from the outside. And true desire doesn't respond to repetition. It responds to recognition. And being studied is seductive. Not being watched, not being monitored, not being tracked for changes that need to be corrected, but being curiously observed. Observed with softness, with interest, with the willingness to not already know the answer. Why are we always thinking that we already know the answer? See, curiosity says, I don't have you figured out. I'm not relating you to a memory. I'm still discovering you. And that kind of curiosity, it does carry risk, because to stay curious, you have to admit that the version of them you once knew is no longer complete. Flirting with intention means noticing shifts, noticing what lights them up now, not what used to excite them, but what gives them energy today. It means noticing what drains them now, the subtle moments where their body pulls back, their voice gets quieter, or their enthusiasm fades. It means noticing what they've outgrown, roles they no longer fit into, expectations that feel too small, or patterns they are quietly trying to leave behind. This kind of noticing requires humility, because you can't stay curious while protecting your ego. You have to let go of the scripts, the assumptions, the comfort of already knowing how to respond. The important thing to remember is that you have to stay responsive instead of rehearsed, because nothing feels less intimate than being interacted with based on who you used to be. Nothing feels lonelier than being loved for a version of yourself that no longer exists. Flirting is how you say, I see your evolution and I'm interested. I'm not threatened by it. I'm not trying to manage it. I'm not asking you to return to who you were. I'm interested. And interest, real interest, the kind that isn't rushed, isn't possessive, isn't trying to secure an outcome, that kind of interest is erotic. Because to be desired is one thing, but to be discovered again by someone who already knows you, that's chemistry that doesn't fade with time. It deepens. Now, relearning your partner. This is where you slow down and let silence work. Not the awkward kind of silence, the honest kind of silence. The kind of silence where control loosens and truth has room to surface. Relearning your partner requires surrender, not submission, not shrinking, not abandoning yourself to keep the peace. Surrender. Surrendering the comfort of certainty, the safety of thinking you already understand. Surrendering the ego that says, oh, I know how this goes, because certainty feels grounding, but it quietly suffocates intimacy. People don't resist closeness. They resist being contained by someone else's assumptions. They resist being frozen in a version of themselves they've already outgrown. People don't want to be managed. They don't want to be handled, and they don't want to be loved like a solved puzzle. People want to be loved as we are becoming. Messy, evolving, contradictory, still figuring ourselves out. Relearning someone isn't about gathering more data. It's not about asking better questions just to stay informed. It's about releasing control, releasing the need to predict, releasing the need to stabilize everything, releasing the need to preserve what once worked. Because preservation is about fear. Experience is about presence. When you relearn someone, you're saying, I'm not here to keep this relationship the same. I'm not here to lock us into old agreements. I am here to meet you right here, right now. And that matters because chemistry doesn't return through effort. You can't force it. You can't perform it back into existence. Chemistry returns through permission. Permission to change without punishment. Permission to be unfinished without being judged. Permission to be new without being questioned. That permission creates space. And space is where desire breathes again. That shift from holding on to opening up, that shift alone can resurrect chemistry. Not loudly, not dramatically, but deeply. Now let's take a sip. So, the chemistry moment for tonight is about reintroduction. I want you to do this for me with no phones, no distractions, no trying to fix what you hear. This is not a conversation to solve anything. It's an invitation to understand. I want you to sit with your partner or sit with yourself and just let the moment be simple. I want you to ask your partner or put this in your journal and write it down so that you can go back and look at it later. What kind of attention makes you feel desired now? Not what used to work, not what you think should work, but what actually makes your body soften today. Is it being listened to without interruption? Is it being noticed without being asked? Is it being touched without expectation? Just answer that question. And then I want you to ask, what feels like foreplay to you at this stage of life? Not performance, not pressure, not obligation, but what prepares you emotionally to open? What helps you feel safe enough to want? And finally, ask, what do you need more of to feel emotionally open? Is it more patience, more reassurance, more playfulness, more quiet presence? Answer slowly, without filtering. Don't filter your answers. Be honest and unfiltered. Don't worry about how it sounds. And while you are listening to someone else's answer, listen without defending, without explaining your intentions, without correcting their experience. Because this moment is not about being right. It's about being reachable. Just receive what they are saying. Let their truth land without rushing to respond. Let this space do its work. Because feeling emotionally open often begins with feeling emotionally heard. And when someone feels heard, desire doesn't have to be chased. It arrives on its own. So chemistry doesn't die from boredom. It dies from emotional absence. It dies quietly, without announcements, without arguments. It fades in moments that feel small enough to ignore, in conversations that stay on the surface because going any deeper feels inconvenient, in check-ins that become updates, in how was your day that doesn't really wait for the real answer. It fades in touch that still happens, but no longer lands. That touch without presence, the affection without attention, the bodies together, but the nervous systems apart. Connection without curiosity isn't connection at all. It's just something that's familiar pretending to be intimacy. And autopilot makes it worse, because autopilot feels productive. We get good at logistics. We get good at managing life. We get good at functioning together, but efficiency is the enemy of intimacy, because intimacy requires inefficiency. It requires slowing down, lingering, letting moments unfold instead of rushing past them. Most people don't need a new partner. They need a new way of paying attention. A new way of listening without multitasking. A new way of touching without anticipating what comes next. A new way of being with someone without already knowing how the moment is supposed to end. Desire does not want novelty. It doesn't want performance. It doesn't want someone always trying harder. Desire wants engagement. Engagement says, I'm here. Not halfway, not elsewhere. And engagement is not chemistry you're born with. It's not a personality trait. It's not luck. It's a choice every single day. A choice to stay curious when something familiar would be easier. A choice to stay present when distraction would be more comfortable. A choice to keep showing up even when autopilot would feel safer. Because chemistry isn't something you find, it's something you maintain with attention, intention, and care. And when attention returns, chemistry follows. Now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to drop the mic. But I'm going to pick it back up because I got to finish the episode. But basically just know that this next line is something to pay attention to. the most seductive thing you can do is to keep learning someone who trusts you enough to keep changing. Just think about that. Someone that trusts you enough to keep changing. Continuing to learn that person is the most seductive, the most reassuring, the most precious thing you can do. Now, as this glass gets light and this cigar settles into a slow burn, remember this: chemistry isn't something you find and hope you don't lose. It's something you practice quietly, intentionally over time. It lives in how you pay attention, in how safe your presence feels, and whether the people you love feel free to keep becoming around you. Because the real question is not, do you still desire each other? It's, do you still make space for who they're becoming? And do they still make space for you? Sit with that. Flirting is presence. Foreplay is safety. Intimacy is a lifelong conversation. So raise your glass and let's toast to staying curious, to evolving together, to chemistry that deepens with time. This has been Corks, Cocktails, and Chemistry. Until next time, keep your glass full, your mind open, and your chemistry evolving. The next round's on me. Don't be late.